2 stops under green flag conditions. But of course, timing of cautions and cautions coming out at certain points, that could of course make a big difference in the field and how the race unfolds. Also, have to welcome in, due to popular demand, he's back here tonight, and that is Mr. Jim Brooks. So, Papa, as always, it's fun to see you on Sunday. It's also fun to do this again with you here tonight. So, appreciate you sharing your talent here in the booth, since this Mr. Andrew Wood guy seems to be popular and doing work and not being around for a few more weeks. So, appreciate you holding the fort down while he's out.
No problem. Popular demand. What that means, you? I don't think there's any demand.
Wait till YouTube watches, and they'll start saying that. I say we'll see. I say there might even be even more excitement if a certain other potential person might pop into the booth. We'll have to wait and see on that one. However, let's go over last week's event. It was at Phoenix Raceway. There were 6 cautions for 8 laps. However, timing of the cautions was pretty much the storyline there. Which great pit strategy, and then just outright speed at the end. Bruno Miranda getting the win over Adriano Forporti and Craig Forsyth. Kind of probably feeling like he got robbed a little bit on that one. And so how does he respond? He went out and left on vacation. So Craig's taking a break. We won't get to see that beautiful 27 machine out tonight. And then after tonight's race at Kentucky, we'll be going to Nashville Super Speedway, followed by the Auto Club 2-mile oval. That should be a really fun race. And then we'll have an off week on March 19th before we run the final 4 races of the season. And then for the season standings, with that win, Bruno Moreno jumps 21 points to the front over Nick DeGroot, 22 over Christopher, Craig Forsyth in third, 31 out, and Eric Schaus rounding out the top 5 with 45 points out of the lead. However, as always, there will be one drop week for this 12-race season, so that those right now doesn't account for any drop weeks, so we'll have to kind of wait and see how that comes into play. And yeah, I cannot confirm or deny a potential cameo from a certain favorite son, so we'll just wait and see, and maybe hope for the best on that one. However, on a more serious note, definitely want to give our heartfelt condolences and thoughts to the Peterson family. Unfortunately, Eric Peterson's grandmother passed, or mother, apologies. Eric Peterson's mother passed away earlier this morning, so he is here racing tonight, but definitely with a heavy heart, and so definitely thinking of everybody in the Peterson family. So Eric, I don't know what to say, Pop. Eric's one of the nicest guys in the series. He does so much for Dark Horse and been with Area 51 for forever. So it's never a fun thing to go through, but it's also nice to kind of maybe get away from kind of have like kind of a distraction, if you will, to be able to hop in here and race with some of his friends and everything like that. So hopefully a good showing for him tonight to kind of have a little bit of something to smile about here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes life gets in the way of having fun, and I really
so qualifying
it's a good race.
Yeah. I'll say. And I think that's also though where just sim racing in our community in general really kind of comes and shines, because it's just we've got a great group of guys who are always here for everybody. So it's really good to see. And just saw the comment there on our YouTube chat. So we have Marsupius, who is rooting for Michael Mata, and that's because that is Michael Mata. So I hope to see not too much chat from you during the race there, Michael. So good luck tonight, though, sir, and definitely look forward to try to get a top 3 out of you, maybe get an interview in. However, qualifying just completing here tonight, so let's go ahead and pull up our starting grid for tonight's event, and it will be, we've got pretty much almost all Brazilian top 5. Nick DeGroot, say maybe he needs to change his nationality, because we got Edson Santos on the pole position there, 24,270. Bruno Miranda going to start in second. Our runner-up last week, I should say, Adriano Forporti going to start in third. Then Nick DeGroot fourth, and Alan Moreira there in the 5th position. So 4 out of the 5 positions in the qualifying taken by Brazil, so well done to all those drivers. Then you got Eric Schaus, Eric Peterson, Jim Herrick, Jari Brupacher, and Charles Teed rounding out our top 10. We'll continue down the running order here. You've got Chris Stouffer and Dan Moreira there, 11th and 12th. Then Michael Mata, we just talked about there in the YouTube chat. He's going to kick it off in 13th in the 61 car. Michael Carrillo, Taylor Reeves Gary Laverne, Matt Wagner, Brad Adams, Rick Sanchez, William Swenson, and Bill Colley will be our 21 starters for tonight's event. All right, so Brazil kind of taking over the front of the pack here, Papa, and I mean it's been about a season or two, and I say we've had, I feel like we've added a few more this season as well, and they're quick, and it's gonna be, well, I say, not obviously no what do you call it, not because of them being Brazilian, but I love the fact that we have some more international. Obviously, we've got a few others, Jari Brupacher as well. So yeah, so we got a pretty good international field here today. But yeah, so 4 out of the 5 though from our listed as iRacing in Brazil. So good start off here for them in qualifying.
Yeah, they really like open wheel cars, and Indy cars obviously fit that bill. Every time I run an official Indy 500 race on iRacing, there's always half the field seems like they're Brazilians, and they always do really well. So they like their open wheel cars.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of blame for a Tony Kanaan, or I'll say go back a little further, like an Emerson Fittipaldi, things like that on the IndyCar side, that is. But yeah, like I said, though, they're quick. I mean, obviously Bruno being our defending champion. So, however, like I said, he's got Edson Santos to his inside. That is that pole position for the number 20 car. And again, reminder, obviously all drivers will have one drop week for their worst race of the season, or a potential missed race like we mentioned for Craig Forsyth. So we'll keep an eye later on the season how that goes. However, pace car is about to head off of the racing surface, entering turn number 4 here. And that is going to hand it over to our front row here. So we're going to flip it over here to the starter cam. You're going to see these cars poke into the picture here in just a moment. And there they are, and we are getting ready to go here. Of course, restart is on the green flag. Everybody's lined up double wide, getting ready. Everybody's stacking up, getting antsy. Green flag is out. We are down and away. Looks like a pretty clean start there. We definitely saw a few drivers, I think, try to time it maybe just a little bit. Didn't quite nail it. But we're underway here as the 20 will clear the 1 out of turn number 2. Oh, quick caution. Actually, yellow is out. And it was one of the drivers I just mentioned. Oh, no, and Michael Mata as well. So we mentioned hopefully not having to chat too much on YouTube, and unfortunately caught up in this one right off the bat. Oh, Rick Sanchez as well. So at least 3 cars involved in this lap 1, turn 2 incident. I'm trying to see if Bill Colley, his car looks good to me, so I think he may be okay. We'll take a look to try to see if we can find where it happened. I want to say, I'm going to start with focus on Jari Brupacher. I think he was probably the closest to it. And I'm already looking at that number 49 car, and he's really tight to the yellow line here. And I have a feeling maybe going to get too tight, or does something happen ahead of him? We'll wait and see. Oh, actually, I think he just gets loose there, unfortunately. And then trying to save it. And you can see right there that, what's that beige car just trying to get to a complete stop. They make a little bit of contact. Let's try. So I need to try to see if I can spot the paint or the car number on that one. And I think what we're going to see here is probably some drivers commit. Actually, I'm trying to find where the other cars that were involved were. There's Michael. Oh, and I think Rick was a separate incident here. Let's back. I'm just going to rewind it here real quick. Take another look for the number 5 machine. I think he just went too low here, Papa, to try to avoid the wreck, caught the apron, and yeah, you can see in the background the wreck there, and then you can see it just catches the inside wall, which then sends them back up the racing surface, but great avoidance by the other drivers there. So kind of 2 separate-ish incidents, but unfortunately 2 incidents, or a couple cars involved nonetheless. And so caution out, pretty much no takers on pit road. Matt Wagner, the first of those to go ahead and throw a little bit of fuel in that number 6 machine. And I mean, we just talked about the fuel mileage here. Won't be a lot gained. I mean, I think this pretty much safely puts everybody in that 2 stop to the end window. But the only difference now, I think, though, is going to be just the field's going to be a little more spread out now, as we're going to have a single file restart.
Yeah, that will make it a little calmer potentially. And I don't know, maybe that's a good move on Matt's part. Obviously, you could go with a different fuel map setting and save a little fuel that way, depending on how this track drafts. It looks like it might draft pretty well. So I think I would this early in the race, I'd go for a little advantage if possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you were already towards the back of the pack, which he was, I mean, might as well. And it looks like, I think I see, Bill Colley's going to actually jump in here this time around, and he's going to bring in Rick Sanchez along with him. So talk about fast repairs, things of that nature. I'm going to go out on a limb, say Rick probably had to take one, as well as I would assume Michael Mata. I'm looking at Yari Brewpacker, though. He had a 26-second stop on pit road. Wondering if maybe he was able to get away with maybe just some wing and maybe some minor damage, trying to save the fast repair. So we'll keep an eye on him, see how the pace looks. Matt did not top off on the one to go. Like I said, these three cars did, however. So they're going to try to hustle up, catch the pace car because lights are off. That's going to hand it over to Edson Santos, our pole sitter. And again, it was a pretty quick start there, so not a lot of change of positions. Right now, our highest climber is William Swenson in the 69, getting 4 spots. Brad Adams getting 3, and then Christopher getting 2. Then everybody else kind of up or down, maybe 1 or 2 spots, though. So everybody's going to shake the nerves off here, get back after it here to restart on lap number 5 of 120. And let's say we'll see how this one goes. But this is where I get nervous, though, Papa, is the accordion effect on these restarts. Again, everybody gets a little antsy here because now it's up to the leader here, the 20 car, to control this restart. So everybody's got to kind of just mind their P's and Q's here. So we'll keep a watch. We'll watch the flagman here. You see he's already down on the way. Now you'll see the green flag fly in just a moment. Eventually, nope. He's going to cross the line before the flag even flies. Again, the leader has discretion on these restarts, but I think going early there, probably the right choice because the field is nice and spread out there, and I think that really kind of prevents that risk of an accordion.
Yeah, he went right away. That kind of got some people sleeping, but now it's closing back in. So you're right, it helps prevent the accordion, which is very dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the thing to watch. But right now you see a good little battle there with Nick DeGroot, Eric Peterson. Looks like Nick's going to hold that spot for the moment. A little further back, Christopher already running the high line there through 1 and 2, trying to get around Charles Teed. I'll say, again, just getting back to the speed, but Charles Teed already the quickest lap of the race, even quicker than our leader with that clean air.
Yeah, Bruno took over the race lead.
Yeah, but and that might be, again, this is, so I haven't mentioned the strategy potentials here, but what you can do with these cars, obviously, and it takes some kind of cooperation between the drivers, but you can kind of do that what I call leapfrog draft, where you basically, the first driver, he leads, and then you get the draft, then you basically jump around him, and then kind of rinse and repeat each lap. But now it looks like, I think Bruno just wanted to lead a lap. Now it looks like maybe content to ride behind Edson. But yeah, so say they could kind of force the pace of the race to be a little quicker if they kind of just keep jumping each other on track. That way, because right now, let's say you get a huge toe off the back of these IR18s. But it looks like Bruno's kind of settled in here a little bit. So that's you'll see pretty shortly here, Nick DeGroot, Eric Schaus, Adriano Forporti, Eric Peterson. They're all going to start slowly but surely reeling these guys back in. But as soon as I say that, there goes Bruno straight back to the bottom to get back around Edson, as the two of them are current leaders so far. We got the top 11. Now looks like they're starting to do that swap draft. Right now, top 11 from the leaders to Dan Morera in this main pack. And then a little separation to 12th of Taylor Reeves, but not a big gap, just a little bit of one. So, and it's still within the draft window for sure.
Yeah, don't look now, but there's Nick DeGroot breathing down their necks.
Also, don't look now, but there's a fan favorite cameo that might be here in Discord as well.
I'm dealing with audio issues. Give me a second.
So right now, though, yeah, like I said, Nick DeGroot kind of peeking in there, and we got a route here for Brunito Miranda on YouTube. So, got one spinning in the back. I think, big hit there. Oh, catches 2 other cars at least. Oh, bad hit there. Catches Michael Carrillo, and I think it started with, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was it's not Dan Morera. Jim Herrick, I think. I thought I saw Dan Morera also have a quick trip down to the bottom, but we'll have to double check. But I saw another car. Oh my goodness, Gary Laverne. I've seen cars crab walk. This is taking it to another level there. That thing is completely pitched sideways. So let me go back, see if I can find exactly where it happened. I think I want to watch. did Dan Murray have a connection issue, or was something happening with him here? I'm going to watch Dan first. Oh, look at Yari Brewpacker, actually. Look, this is where it starts. Let me go back to the 49. Oh, I'm actually way too far back. Let's move more forward. Apologies. I think I'm on the initial spin there. Yes, let's go back a little, well, actually a little further forward in this case. And now let's look for Dan. Let's take a look here. I'll try to watch as things occur. I think it might be a little bit too far up ahead here at this point still. I think it'll be here going through this front stretch here into 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I see Jim Herrick as well right in front of this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just caught it for a split second, but I'm going to go back and point it out here a little slower. But what's going to happen is you're going to see a little bobble from the 40 car of Jim Herrick. I can't tell what car this is inside, but you'll see right here, he saw that car drift up a little bit. I think he reacts maybe some real bad net code, but that sends him up the track, out of the racing surface, into the outside wall. And at this point, it's just trying to, you can see he tries to catch it. Unfortunately, say first you see he catches the Dan Marrero, which I think it looks like somehow Dan Marrero kind of had an instant jump to the pits. But then, unfortunately, this is where it really hurts. You see Gary Laverne, he sees he's moving up, not quick enough. And then you also see Michael Carrillo just catches the both of them, and they just go for a really wild ride. So, unfortunately, I think that's 3 of the 40 raceware cars caught up in that incident here right off that turn 2 backstretch incident. And we'll focus back here as well on Michael Carrillo because that car still winds up spinning around a little bit more. And yeah, it looks like left rear suspension damage to his machine. And yeah, car not tracking very well either there. So second caution here early tonight. And again, nothing egregious, just little tiny mistakes. And unfortunately, though, it seems like there's not a lot of recovery from those mistakes, as you see Gary trying to hustle back up to the racetrack here. Not a lot of strategy, though, again here, Papa. The top 2 stayed out. Michael Mata, Matt Wagner as well. They stay out, but they pitted on lap 2, so not a big difference. But however, Eric Schaus on back, these guys all went ahead and pitted for 4 tires and fuel, so they're going to have about a 10-lap advantage here on fuel.
It's a good move by Matt. He gets up to 4th place from back in the pack, so that's definitely worth that effort. So, yeah, I wonder about those top 3, though, not pitting. That seems a little unusual, but everybody has their strategies.
I think it could be a risk-reward situation for the top 2. I mean, honestly, even the top 4, really. But like I said, yeah, I mean, Edson and Bruno, they qualified 1-2. They stay 1-2 as they run. But again, I don't think this pit window put anybody in a one-stop today. I think everybody's still a 2-stopper. The only thing it does is, like I said, it lets the other drivers maybe go, again, roughly maybe up to 10 laps further than Edson and Bruno. So that's where, if we get to green flag pit stops, Edson and Bruno probably going to be sweating bullets under green flag pit stop conditions. Honestly, the same will be said for Michael Mata, Matt Wagner, but like I said too, they were in the back, so this is a great opportunity for them to gain track position because now Michael is up 10 spots from 13th to 3rd. Matt is up 13 spots from 17th to 4th. So yeah, so a really good opportunity for the two of them, like I said, to kind of flip that track position. So I like the strategy there, like you said, for these two. Then Eric Schaus, Nick DeGroot and company here, these guys all went ahead and just took the 4 tires and fuel. I think they felt like it was a long enough run there that they wanted to get in there for fuel and tires. And then again, just I think also that little safety net, if you will, too, just in case you get that potential long run. I always like being able to pit later than everybody else, just again, because pit road in these cars is very difficult.
Last week is any indicator, pitting late is a good thing.
Yes. And well, that's interesting though. So Bruno is one of those that did pit late and it benefited him. This time he's staying out, so he's going to have to be one of the earliest pitters. So this will be interesting to see if it kind of does if it flips its head on him or not. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see. But there goes the 20. He is down and away, going to lead this restart here, starting lap number 16. And you can see field again spread out just a little bit. I'm watching Eric Schaus, though. He is already all over the back of, actually, that's one of our lap cars, Michael Carrillo. Again, these cars, the IndyCar rules, the lap cars can kind of merge with the lead pack. So Eric's going to try to make some quick work of the 29, who did take a fast repair, so he should be in good shape here. Kind of car health-wise. But yeah, just didn't get the best of restarts. But again, I think Eric's still safely in the draft ahead. So right now showing, I believe, 17 cars on the lead lap. Michael Carrillo and Gary Laverne 1 lap down. I believe Dan Marrero, Jim Herrick sitting 2 laps down in their 40 race car machines. But right now, Pop, I'm kind of seeing, looks like, I feel like Edson maybe playing a little more defense on this restart. Looks like he's kind of hugging that bottom a lot more than the first run, where he would kind of drift up and let let the 1, I should say, go by. But as soon as I say that, he proves me wrong. He gives the bottom lane to that number 1. But yeah, you see Michael Motto, Matt Wagner right there with them. And again, though, even though they have more fuel, though, right now, Eric Schau's probably having to burn a little extra to get back to these guys. Again, wanting to make sure you stay in that draft window. So definitely keep an eye on them. But I'm thinking that this is actually a good spot for Michael and Matt, maybe going back to like a map 3, map 5, and saving that little bit of extra fuel while these two kind of do the draft swap.
I agree. That's what I was going to say. Now's a good time to save, because it looks like no one's really pushing it hard, and they're not, staying in the low line trying to keep the lead. It's like just letting everybody do their thing. So we'll see what Matt's kind of a sneaky guy. See if he ends up following or no. It looks like he might want to get up front too. So never can tell.
He's probably watching, seeing that we're looking at him. So he's like, okay, I gotta show off that way. That way I get some extra TV time in my number 6 machine, which I believe is a new paint scheme for him. Kind of looks like the old I say it's sad when I remember the kid's name, but not the dad's name. Bobby Rahal. Kind of looks like that Miller Genuine draft paint scheme that Bobby Rahal is pretty famous for. That's kind of what that paint scheme looks like, but different sponsorship on the side of it, as almost had Michael Mott on the side of him as well there. They hold off from the contact, but definitely close quarter between the two of them.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that new paint scheme. I'm still seeing his old red and black.
I'll say so. Might be. Well, we'll see. We'll have to ask him if. Let's say now he has to finish in the top 3, so we can find out which paint scheme is the paint scheme for the 6 cars. So we can see which of us is more current. But right now, looking at the field here, like I said, it looks like Eric and Nick, they're clearly have got there. Although, as they need to mention, fastest lap of the race, though, is actually our 20th place car there. Dan Marrero ran a purple lap faster than anybody else on the track so far in this race. So like I said, he's trying to get some laps back. I believe he's actually 2 down. I think, unfortunately, Jim Herrick sitting 3 down in the 40 car. So, again, tough night for a few of those 40 racewear guys. And like I said, I'm going to put the blame on Craig for going on vacation.
Yeah, one less 40 guy race.
Yeah, it's Matt Wagner now to the point, trying to get a lap lead, it looks like, in that number 6 machine, of course. Did you mention bonus points in this league for a lap lead? I believe also for a pole position, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And then also some bonus points for an incident-free race. So a lot of these drivers, of course, that's kind of, I think the incident-free is at 2 points, if I'm not mistaken, lap lead 1, pole position 1. And of course, I mean, winning gives you the most points. So, I mean, that's the end goal, but every little bit definitely helps, especially over the course of a 12-race season.
Yeah, but sometimes decided whether you make it or don't make it in. Well, that's right, we don't have a chase in this.
Yeah, no playoffs, yep.
Winning the championship can be just a couple points, and you could have got them by leading a lap, like Matt just did.
Yeah, I mean, that's little bobble there as well there just for a split second, but now the field's starting to really bunch right back up, and I think Bruno's pretty much letting Matt now kind of lead the field and, again, let Matt burn that extra fuel over instead of himself, because I'm seeing Bruno, again, as soon as I say it, Bruno's like, no, I'll go ahead and pass him. But now here's Mr. Timely Caution, Nick DeGroot, able to capitalize from, I think it was 2 laps down at Phoenix, stayed out, ran the fuel mileage perfectly, got the caution he needed, and then was able to come back for, I believe, a top 5, if not 6th place finish at Phoenix. I'm actually going to check the race results for Nick DeGroot, and where did he? 4th for Nick DeGroot there. So, yeah, so able to kind of make a really good result out of a bad day in that number 89 machine.
Seeing Charles Teed show up there now.
Yeah, I was talking to Charles pre-race, and we're kind of teasing him. It's like definitely never. He's probably one of the least aggressive drivers in this series, and so he kind of had some fun with that one. He's with some of his buddies there, but they have some tight quarter racing with Eric Schaus and Eric Peterson, all hanging out in the same Discord. So they're probably chiming in with one another, talking about that, and probably talking about, ooh, that was a little closer than we expected it to be. But these guys put on a good fight with each other, and I think we got a 3-wide battle here for the lead, though. You got Bruno on the top, Nick in the middle, and Matt on the bottom. And Nick will prevail this time by get that lap led as well in the 89. And we're already clicking through here, Pop, a quarter of the way through lap 30 of 120. Talked about the fuel window being about 40 laps on fuel. Had a couple yellows, though, so I'd say extend it to maybe, let's say, 45 laps, I think would be a safe guess at least. So again, the first two we should expect to see would likely be Bruno Miranda, Edson Santos, Matt Wagner, as well as Michael Mata. So I'll be keeping an eye on those 4 drivers, and we'll have to see again how far afterwards then the rest of the field have to hit pit road.
Yeah, the top 8 or so, 10 have closed up, and I can see the rest of the field back there slowly closing in too. So yeah, I think if they don't push it a little harder up here, it's going to be a big bunch pretty soon.
Yeah, so right now the only gap I really see is Taylor Reeves here, and actually that's not very accurate. So it shows him to Brad Adams, and the reason why it shows a big gap there is because there's a few lap cars in between the two of them. So like I said, it's pretty much just a big group right now. Everybody's kind of in that draft window, if you will. So I know there's a term for it too, where draft train is what it's been called before, because you can make pretty good passes if you're about top 2, top 3. You can try to make some moves, but there's times where if you're 4th, 5th, 6th, you kind of you're pulling the draft off the car in front of you who's pulling a draft, and it's really hard to get that big run that these cars are known for. And so sometimes you're kind of just stuck there until you kind of have to wait for something to happen to give yourself an opportunity.
And you're going to get a little push too from the dirty air. The more cars are in front of you, the dirtier the air, and that tends to. I noticed some people drifting up in the corners, so I don't know if that's where they want to run or where they end up having to run.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was you, I'm guessing you'd be just at the very top of that dotted line there on the, just to the right of that one, because I say you love to rim right at these 1.5, 2-mile ovals. One, because there's usually a little bit of clean air there, but also just it builds momentum. You can kind of run that momentum off, get a little run down the backstretch, steal the draft. I say then maybe you can make a move entering that following turn. Whereas when you're kind of pinned to the bottom, you can just lose that momentum you'd have, and kind of have to keep the car pinned down a little more. Kind of the top side lets you open that wheel up a little more and kind of just try to carry a bit more speed.
Yeah, in a lot of tracks, you're going to push it a little bit as you go low like that, and so you got to feather it, and that gives you the run up top. Yeah, you can usually gain forward until about 3rd place, and then it no longer works the same because there isn't any dirty air holding those guys down.
Yeah, so hopping on board here with Eric Peterson, we saw there, he kind of ran the middle lane, but pretty much once he caught that dirty air from those couple cars in front, he pretty much washed up a lane or two. I was watching him because I saw him, he was kind of rim riding earlier, but it's actually now Edson. Edson's doing a big arc there. He entered really high, then cut it down there off of 2. And that looked like it actually worked pretty well versus just running the top all the way around. Looks like right now our rim rider is going to be Charles Teed in that number 50 machine. Let's say one of the teammates with Eric Peterson. So let's say it looks like Eric have all kind of settled in a little bit for the moment. As soon as I say that, he goes bottom, Eric goes more towards the top side. So I think it's just everybody's going where there's somewhere to go and just get any little bit of clean air on the front wing.
Yeah, nobody seems to be in a really big hurry right now. It seems like just kind of a status quo and just kind of bide your time, probably waiting for green flag pit stops, and then maybe make a little more effort out.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised by Nick DeGroot. I honestly really thought he would be going kind of full fuel save since he pitted there at 12 and just let these guys do the work and be able to go even further than them, like I said, to kind of put them at risk for, let's say, instead of maybe 8 laps, maybe like 12 laps if you can go that little bit further than them through the fuel saving. So based on that, again, I think actually for the guys that pitted, really will most likely see Nick DeGroot be one of the first ones to hit pit road. And I really like what I see out of Eric Peterson. He's been able to stay up in this main pack, and I think been able to do some great fuel saving because, I don't know, either maybe a bobble or not, but Charles Teed, he's kind of dropped back a little bit here these last few laps. Not sure if maybe some contact off of the wall maybe got him a little bit tighter. So that definitely does happen if you kind of have that side contact with the right side to the wall. But just, yeah, he's kind of dropped about 6-7 tenths off of Peterson here. And so you see Alan Morera, he's starting to try to get back up into this mix as well. So when you fall off almost a second, usually that's where it's like, okay, I got to turn my fuel back up, get back into the draft a little closer. And again, that's going to kill that fuel mileage just a little bit worse.
Leaders are passing the lead back and forth here and there between Mata and Nick and Matt there. So Bruno's just watching it all.
Yeah, this is great for Bruno because, like I said, he can go really aggressive fuel save. And really, like I said, you've still got all 4 cars that did not pit under this most recent yellow in the top 5. So they're all right together, and again, that's where I think Nick's going to have to be ready. At some point, these drivers are going to kind of key up and let them know that they're pitting, and this is where kind of practice is going to be extremely important. And Poppy, you can probably explain better, because again, you adjust these cars based on the clean air and the dirty air. You have all these adjustments with the front and rear air because Matt gets super tight. Their head to roll out of it. But then you also have the weight jacker, which just kind of literally moves ballast from the front and the rear of the car. What is the adjustment you want to make if you start approaching the screen flag pit stop here very shortly?
Mostly just depends on how it's going to feel with the lighter fuel load and the worn tires. For sure, you're going to want to go negative weight jacker as you're getting ready to come off that last turn to slow down to the pits, because the rear end's going to want to come around if you're not careful on that one, if you got a weight jacker up in the positive range.
And here's our first taker. It's going to be Matt Wagner. He's dropping so fast I can't click on him. There we go. Looks like a clean entry for the 6. And actually, he came in first. So basically better mileage happening for those 2 that did not pit all, Michael Mata and Edson Santos. So they've done a great job to save an extra lap or 2 of fuel. Nice. And then Bruno Miranda as well. Apologies. And I see Bruno's kind of peaking low. Nope, no pit stop yet for him. No pit stop for Edson. So Matt's the short pitter here of everybody. And he's already rolling out of pit road now, but already trapped a lap down. That's how quick these cars are going around right now. Sub 25-second laps. Not quite Phoenix fast, but still really quick at this 1.5 mile oval.
I'm surprised to see Matt go that quickly. It seems like maybe he came in just a little early. Maybe he's checking that he knows now. Look, we can do one more pit stop. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, everybody's good to go for one more stop, I think, from here. Edson Santos, Michael Mata are in. Michael, if there's a piece of paper between him and that cone there on pit entry, I think he's standing on the inside of it, but he cut it tight there. So hopefully he gets a clean entry here. That leaves Bruno Miranda. Bruno's gone the farthest. Here he comes. He's going to make his pit stop. So those are the 4 that did not pit. So they all hit pit road around, looks like 45, 46, and this will be, I believe, 47. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 45, 47, 48, I think are the right numbers, roughly in that area. So now, like I said, now they're kind of going to have to sweat bullets for about, I'd say, roughly 10 laps here, just based on them pitting at lap 2 and these guys pitting at lap 12. But right now, though, Nick DeGroot's got a lot of clean air, a lot of just has some room to just get comfortable, run his laps, almost probably run some qualifying lines, if you will. That's now moved out Eric Peterson up into that runner-up spot. Alan Morera third, Charles Teed and Eric Schaus rounding out our top 5 currently. But again, though, still a few more laps for them to go until they hit their pit window. But right now, I think the car on the move has been this number 21, though, Alan Morera, because he's gotten around Teed. He's now right on the rear wing here of Eric Peterson, and he's going to try to run the top side here. So a really good work out of that 21. But like I said, Peterson's sneaky here. I wonder if he's just close enough to get the draft from the group, but also able to save a little more fuel just to go that even little bit further.
He can follow Morera and even be better.
Yeah, so now he's even closer to that 21 machine. So yeah, so definitely some more fuel saving able to be done. Now he's just got to make sure he's got some clean air around him. And so, like I mentioned, yeah, so good pit stops for Wagner, Santos, Mata, and Miranda, and they're actually all pretty much right back together. Here you see the 4 of them all in the same frame, so they were able to get on off the pit road, stay in that main draft together, so they've got a little bit of help for kind of keep that speed up for the 2 of them. Like I said, though, they still have a few more laps here before they'll be able to breathe a little bit because they need this whole lead pack field to hit pit road. Taylor Reeves is on pit road now. Looks like a clean entry for him. But again, still got probably another 15 cars waiting to make their green flag pit stops.
You guys hear me this time?
We got you. Nick DeGroot on pit road and down to speed. And it looks like a nice clean entry for him. So we kind of expected Nick to be one of the early pitters too. Christopher is in along with him. Richard Sanchez in as well. That's going to now put Alan Moreira here to the point.
It seemed like the 4 cars that didn't hit were actually running pretty hard, and I think they have maybe even more of a deficit.
Yeah, well, and this will be the key is to see where Nick DeGroot comes out in relation to them. As you see, we got a bunch coming in now. Alan Moreira, Brad Adams on pit road. That leaves Peterson, Schaus, Teed for Porty, Brupacher, and Bill Cawley yet to make their green flag pit stop. So again, haven't quite completed the cycle, but we're getting much closer. Looks like Peterson's about to come in. Yep, here he comes. Got a lap lead. Now he's going to hit pit road. That's going to hand it over to Teed. And you know who sounds cooler than me and my dad? Favorite son sounds cooler than the both of us. So we got a family affair here in the booth. So Quabi, I appreciate you hopping on. So you said if Papa's going to broadcast, you'd join the party. So appreciate you jumping in as well. As we are not quite halfway, but just about halfway. Looks like Teed ready to hit pit road. And this is where it gets scary. He's able to kind of straddle the apron really well there. Got on the brakes. I think that was Adriano. Yep, Adriano for Porty right behind him. That leaves Eric Schaus, the last driver to pit here. And Eric's a good fuel saver in that 72. He can really work the numbers in that car. So, it won't make a difference. He's still going to have to make another stop before the end, but maybe a shorter fuel stop out of that 72. And he's still going here in that car. So, a really good fuel mileage out of Eric.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's very good at conserving. He always has been. Kind of makes you wonder. It's that a lot of times in IndyCar racing, you don't benefit by staying out longer, but let's see how they shake out after this. So here he comes now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And so he's got to get down. Looks clean. I'm looking at timing and scoring. Looks like everybody had a clean pit stop. The one thing I do see, Charles Teed had a 13-second pit stop. Everybody else in the 8-9 second range. That plus 5 seconds, to me, usually says a front wing change. So maybe he had some front wing damage at some point in the race, and so had to get it repaired there. I do believe, unfortunately, Michael Creo had a pit penalty as he had a 49-second pit stop, as did Brad Adams, 48.8. And it looks like Gary Laverne as well may have got caught as well because he's still sitting on pit road. Rick Sanchez is rolling out of pit road now. Schaus leaving pit road. Like you said, Papa, he went long. They're already on by him here for that spot. So we'll see where he cycles out. Right now we have the top 8 are all really locked onto each other from Edson all the way to Schaus. They're all within touching distance of each other here. Looks like Peterson actually going to slot in just ahead of Schaus, I should say. So we'll have a little bit of separation, looks like, but I think we'll have the top 10 or so probably still in this main pack.
Yeah, it looks like Edson cycled into the lead. I see Matt behind him, so not a big change.
I'm impressed with this group of drivers. Like lots of clean pit stops. Have a whole full green cycle, and still racing. So, of course, a couple of penalties out there, but we'll see as we hit halfway.
Yep, just crossed the halfway point. Last time by Charles Teed put the fastest lap of the race in because he's got some clean air and he needs to try to get back to that pack. So he's going to hustle it a little bit here, I think. And actually, looks like another pit stop for Rick just leaving now. I think a pit penalty for him because it was a 43-second stop. So, unfortunately, it's some tough breaks for a few guys. But right now, top 7 are definitely all here in this main pack. A little ways back to Mr. Schaus there, showing 1.3 seconds between he and Eric Peterson. And then he's got Christopher right along with him, as well as Jari Brupacher and Adriano for Porty not too far back as well. But right now, Matt Wagner, though, he's starting to close the gap here. Actually, I'm sorry. Michael Mata starting to close the gap on Matt Wagner, I should say. So really the pit strategy so far, I'm going to say a bit of a wash really for the four that did not pit or pitted really early versus the others that pitted at lap 12. I think the only difference I could see though, Papa, is if we go green to this next pit stop, will the difference in fuel needed to the end, could that play a role in how quick your final stop is? Or do we think they're just going to, no matter what, be waiting on tires? Or would a few less gallons maybe turn into a 7-second pit stop instead of a 9-second pit stop?
Yeah, that's the reality is that these things the tires take the longest, and then the fuel is usually done about the same time, if not a second or two later. So, yeah, they could gain a second, a little more if they're lucky.
So, old man, if you were in this situation right now, would you be continuing to conserve fuel, running leaner maps, trying to get a few more laps out of it?
If I could stay up behind them, I would, yeah, for sure.
Right now, not a lot of riding going on with Michael Mata. I think he wants to get the lead once more here. And while he does that, we'll start with him. We'll run through the fields here as we are about to cross 55 to go. And that is our race leader right now. Michael Mata is plus 12 at the moment, leading that last lap there, as next to him is Edson Santos, our pole sitter in that number 20 machine. And then Nick DeGroot here in the third spot in that number 89. Fourth, Matt Wagner in the number 6 machine. And then rounding our top 5 is Alan Morera in the 21, right where he started tonight. And behind him, you've got the 36 of Eric Peterson. He's got company because Eric Schaus has found his way back towards the main pack. And he is trying to move himself forward as he's got, again, slightly fresher tires in that Hot Wheels machine. Then you go back to our defending champion here, Bruno Miranda, now trying to follow through that 72 around the 36. We'll see how that goes for him as the run continues on. And then Christopher, he's going to want to rebound after a couple tough weeks. He started off with 3 second places in a row, but it's kind of just luck hasn't been there. So Chris going to try to recover from that. And he's sitting in 9th. And rounding out our top 10 is Yari Brupacher in that number 49 machine. And the remainder of our lead lap will be the 072. Adriano Fraporti got a runner-up last week at Phoenix. Charles Teed, a long pit stop, set him back just a little bit in that number 50 machine. He is 12th. And then I believe Bill Colley is still on the lead lap in the 31 car in 13th. And then William Swenson, last car on the lead lap in the number 69 machine, sitting in 14th.
So Michael Mata got a little lucky there. I saw him scrub the wall. It didn't seem like he's lost a lot of speed. So these cars will touch the wall a little bit and survive, but you hit it too hard, you get wheel damage, and it's all but over except for a fast repair. Yeah, and
I think Michael probably had to use his fast repair in that lap 1 incident that he got stuck in. So he's, like I said, he's got to be a little extra cautious, even if that for him there. So hopefully no lingering damage. But like I said, if it's a little bit of a kiss, usually you get maybe a little bit tighter depending on how hard you hit it. But yeah, if you get wheel damage, you're definitely in for a bad time. And do want to update though, we have the top 10 all in this lead pack, pretty much bunched up right together, with about a second gap between Yari and Adriano in 11th spot. So up front though, it's been Nick DeGroot and Edson Santos, and they're doing that swap draft. I think they decided, you know what, let's bump the pace up. Let's see if we can spread this field right back out here. And this is, I said, I'm going to try to see if we can focus on these guys a little better here. And what we'll do is I'll try to switch in between the two of them here. So we'll focus on Nick DeGroot. He's going to steal a draft here, follow Edson, and then entering 3, yep, he's going to drop low. Edson's going to stay on the top side, so Nick DeGroot will get to the point. Then we'll watch Edson here. He's going to drop low, pick up the draft of the 89. You'll see Nick here. He's going to slide to the top, let Edson swing back on by, and then kind of they're just going to rinse and repeat this pretty much every half lap, pretty much for these two guys. And that's basically going to allow the pace of this race to be that much quicker, because unlike in NASCAR, can't really bump tandem draft unless you want to make someone mad at you and have a crash. This is the way to make time, and it's working though, Pop. I mean, they're already almost 0.8 of a second now over Alan Morera. And so basically these guys now third on back, they need to stay organized to try to hold on to this draft, because now you can't run a map 3 and map 5 to stay in the draft here. You're going to probably have to go right back to map 1 and try to pull back in on these two.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's so much for trying to conserve fuel when they're doing this. They're going to pull away from you really quick. Yeah, and I don't see them in the back trying to duplicate it either, so it's rather interesting. Although they're not falling back any farther, it looks like might be closing back up now.
Yeah,
the top two are very organized comparatively, but I think the field is responding.
well, and there's, if you're the top two, you have to do what they're doing to make the speed. When you're third on back, it depends on your interval to them. So right now, Edson's about half a second, or sorry, Alan's about half a second off of Edson. Now Michael Mata's fallen to about 0.8 of a second actually off of Edson or Alan. I'm going to get these names right eventually. So you mentioned Michael possibly having that little bit of wall contact. I wonder if he's starting to get a little bit tight and now having to be more aggressive. Maybe that car a little less comfortable for him because he's, like I said, he's starting to get pulled a little bit by that 21. So once you're outside the draft window, so again, that about 1.4, 1.5 second window, that's usually about the magic draft window in these IR18s. Then you need to start doing the same thing as the leaders to try to pull back in there. But like for Alan, at the time, he was about 7/8 back. You can still get the draft off of two of them. The hard part is when they're doing every turn side by side, you're getting a lot of turbulent air through the turns. So Alan's, he should be safe. But yeah, behind Michael Mata, I think Eric Schaus is going to have to find a way to get around him to be able to make sure he doesn't lose these two up, or lose these three, I should say, now up ahead. And yeah, there he goes. He's going to swing right on by the 61. Oh, big hit there. That was Chris Stouffer there in the inside wall. Keeps it straight though, but that car is going to hopefully make it to pit road here. That left front completely destroyed. We'll have to try to just limp it back here. I think he can get it done. Just needs to get down to speed. This should actually be within range of a fuel window here, although it looked like maybe a little over pit speed entry there. We'll see if he gets a penalty or not for that. But I think he just got tight there, hit the wall real hard off of two, but kept it straight. Really great job by him on that one. But yeah, unfortunately, just started the season great. Just unfortunately, just hasn't been going the right way since.
Hopefully, he has a fast repair in his pocket. Go ahead.
Yep, fast repair and down away.
Did he hit the wall or did he just lose?
No. Oh, that's actually a good point. I believe he hit the wall off of two. You know what? Let's go see if we can find a better look at it here.
That's usually it'll shoot you right to the inside on any of these shorter oval tracks.
So let's back it up a little further here. Didn't go quite far enough back. Apologies for that. But we will focus on this number 13 machine. Look at the numbers right too. And we'll pick it up here and we'll focus on that. And yep, push. Oh man, that's a brutal hit to the inside wall. And Michael Mata actually also on pit road. So I think Michael's going for a short pit strategy. I believe we saw it look like he was starting to struggle a little bit possibly. So basically the final green flag pit stop, the window is open. But again, it's really now who's going to blink first, and I want to be the one to blink last, I have to say, again, because you will wind up getting trapped a lap down in under green flag pit stop. So the later you can go, I think the better. But also, we've got the top four. They found themselves together, but with everything that's been going on, I've missed something because Bruno Miranda is about 3 seconds now off this pack. So really the top four now have a great breakaway here. So basically Bruno and Matt now, they need to start doing what we saw Edson and Alan do, and they just need to start doing some aggressive teamwork drafting and do that draft swap to have any chance to get back to lead pack here without a yellow.
Yeah, I wasn't watching that either. I wonder what happened.
I mean, Chris Topher hit really hard. I mean, that car was almost just straight on the inside wall. I wonder if just drivers rolled out of it expecting a caution potentially. Again, just kind of guessing. That being said, though, if we do stay green, I really, really like where Eric Schaus is sitting. Edson pitted at lap 47. Alan Moreira at lap 54, and also shout to Alan Moreira now up into that second spot in that number 21 machine. Nick DeGroot lap 53, and then Eric Schaus 5 laps later at lap 58. And need to call this Matt Wagner on pit road for his scheduled final stop in the 6th machine. He also was one of the earlier stoppers on that first green flag pit stop cycle. So again, this is where these guys pitting, they're going to be sweating bullets for just a little bit until everything cycles around. So he'll be hitting pit road. This should be his final scheduled stop, but we'll wait and see. And actually, Alan Moreira now to the point here in that number 21 machine. Edson Santos actually fell back to 3rd here. I think lap traffic maybe held him up just a little bit, maybe lost some momentum. But Alan and Nick able to take advantage of that. But yeah, Eric Schaus, 58 though, so he pitted 4 laps later than Alan, who was the closest one to him in this main pack. Goes contact.
There's
Edson, there's a caution is out. Edson was right up front, but more contact right behind. Just saw 2 cars trying to avoid it, got into each other as well. I think that was, Adria for Party, sorry, our runner-up last week. And I think it was the 76 Brad Adams as well. But caution is out. We've had a couple guys already taking tows. And, so that's a hard one for these 3, Matt Wagner, Michael Mata, Christopher, as they had already hit pit road. But let's go back. I'm wondering if I kind of feel like Edson.
Eric tried to squeeze through between the leader and Sanchez, and he didn't make it. He clipped his left rear.
When I was watching too, though, I'm kind of wondering is it possible that Edson was maybe starting to run out of fuel, because it seemed like there was a big speed difference right here. Or was it maybe, Eric's just trying to go low, and then Edson's like, I got to pit, and maybe just a little bit of just unfortunately, like I said, they both may have made the same move at the same time, because, I mean, Eric had a big head of steam there. Either way, though, that's a heartbreaker for Edson, as he was having a really, really good run here tonight in that 20. But just unfortunately unsure again. We knew he was one of the earlier pitters, but then unfortunately behind them, this is where the wreck avoidance attempts are happening here. You see Adriano, everything looks good, but he has to check up a bunch, not showing where the 20 is going to be. And unfortunately, he gets caught from behind by, I believe that was the 76. Yeah, Brad Adams there. And Brad goes for quite a ride in that machine. So we saw him take a tow, but we talked about timing cautions could play a role in it, and it's definitely going to, maybe not as much as Phoenix yet, but definitely did play a big role here. So caution is out. Caution flag pit stops have already been made. It looks like Alan Morera is going to be our race leader after the cycles are complete. Bill Colley has not pitted yet in the 31. So we're going to take a break, catch your breath, and we'll be back here on the one to go. Stay tuned.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, lights just about to go off on the pace car. I want to update our running order. As you can see, Alan Morera now cycles out as our leader over Eric Schaus and Nick DeGroot. Bruno Miranda, Eric Peterson going to round out our top 5. Matt Wagner is back on the lead lap. I believe he was the wave around driver. And then Michael Mata and Christopher, as we on cue, they're going to swing around the pace car, come back onto the lead lap as they were ahead of the leader, but caught there. So basically in between the pit stop cycle, they go to tail end. So they're back on the lead lap, a little older tires, but they should be okay there. So pretty much 13th on up here are back onto the lead lap. Dan Morera and Edson Santos are the first drivers, 1 or more laps down, and I believe they are both 2 laps down. So, and actually Jim Herrick also took a wave around here. Jim will have to pit, though, pretty soon in the 40 car. So he's he's hoping for misfortune, basically. He's hoping for a quick yellow to steal one of the three, or get one of his laps back there, because he was 3 down, now he's down to 2. But he's going to have some brakes, otherwise it's going to hit pit road very shortly. But we're going to restart this thing under 30 to go, 29 here at the line. Fuel's out of the question, so at this point everybody can turn it up to the max. Max Rich here to the end. Everybody probably did the fuel calculations to make sure they have just enough fuel to make it to the end, keep it as light as possible. So Alan Marrero is going to lead the field here. He has control. Pace truck is off, and we will watch, and he is waiting. A little delay. Everybody's going to get antsy. And now he's down and away. And this is where you watch out for those accordions, and I see a lot of cars in the back there shuffling around. That's what happens, though. Again, everybody gets antsy towards the end of the race, and especially I think he went a little later than some expected. And so we have some pretty big traffic here going on with a handful of these guys.
It'll be interesting to see if they don't just stick to the low line now, because there's, the race is on the line now, and it's not going to be like letting people go and pass them back. I think Eric is looking a little wiggly there. I think that low line is going to be pretty popular right now.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. It's going to be a lot of defensive driving here. Full rich, the field shuffle. There's people in the back that weren't in the back before. They want to get back to the front. Matt Wagner. I think you're going to see some aggression and maybe another yellow.
That was a really nice crossover there by Eric Schaus. Yeah. You saw I think right there, Alan was just a little too tight. He had to kind of hug it to the bottom, and then Eric was able to sneak on by. But while all that was happening, I think right there, Bruno went from, 4th to 1st in like about 2 turns there. So a great set of turns for Bruno. He's back to the point, our defending series champion. So he's going to take the point here. But right now we've got pretty much the top 8 here right in lock with each other here. From Bruno back to William Swenson, then a little break to Adriano Fraporti, Christopher, Matt Wagner, Michael Mata, and Bill Colley. So, saw one in the wall there. That may have, nope, not Jim Herrick. Caution
no yellow
is
so far.
out.
There it is.
Yep, I think it may have been, it's Dan Marrero, unfortunately, in the number 26 machine. And I think it was just, again, turn 2, that exit, I think they just got a little too tight. And so I'll say his misfortune, though, will be the fortune for others. Let me see. We'll take a look one more time for Dan here. And I think, like I said, I think it's just basically just gets real tight here. You see him right behind Edson Santos here in that 20. And I think he's just going to steal a little bit too much of the dirty air. And actually, he's off center from Edson, so I wonder if there's another car ahead of him. But it looks like just on exit, I think as he starts drifting up, I think that car just basically there gets the aero wash. And then at that point, he's just, that thing's just not rotating at all. So he catches the outside wall, and it was almost identical to what we saw with Christopher, where you can see how hard right here he's going to hit that inside wall. But this time it bounces him and kind of spins him around. So that's going to bring our caution back out tonight. Looks like not a lot of strategy, a lot of fakers on pit road. But wisely, all those drivers that had to take wave rounds or lucky dogs, Matt Wagner, Christopher, Michael Mata, on pit road, going to go ahead and get some fresh tires. And I believe, Edson Santos, he's going to get 1 of his 2 laps back. Won't get both, unfortunately, as he was 2 down. However, this will now put him, I believe, as the only car 1 lap down. So now, again, for him, he's going to have to hope for another caution to then get himself back on the lead lap and try to see if he can make a late charge to get back up where he's been running all night. And then also the gamble by Jim Herrick. We mentioned he needed a quick yellow. He got exactly that. So while he didn't get the lucky dog there as well to go from 2 to 1, he at least still goes, kind of will be a net lap gain, because he goes from 3 laps down to 2 laps down. And as well, I think is the only car now 2 laps down. So I think that's definitely a gamble paid off there for Jim as well. All right. So with not a lot of change, we'll step away one more time here. Got to show off our wonderful sponsors, 4D Racewear. Again, they will be donating a pair of gloves to each of our series here. So 3 sets of gloves will be donated there. That's going to go to a random draw for those who run 10 or at least 10 of the 12 races. So I'll be, again, really want to thank Jim Herrick and everybody with 4D Racewear for putting on these amazing prizes for these guys. Last season was some racing boots for the champions. This season we're going for gloves. So definitely want to thank Jim and 4D Racewear. So of course, if you're interested, You can find them at 40racer.com. Use code Area5115 for 15% off of your order.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, and lights are off of the pace car, so we are 1 to go here, which will put us at 21 to go on this restart. And I have to make an admit here, Mr. Muffin Man, I have not had spam before, at least that I'm aware of. I don't think our parents hated us enough to subject us to that growing up. And then say high praise for you though, Quabi. She just said hello to you instead of a certain other hello that I usually get. So I say your favorite son status also follows that household there as well.
It's good to have status. It's a lot of perks to it.
It really is. So not a lot of strategy there. Most of the field stayed out. The first of our pitters to come out is Chris Stouffer. He'll be 11th. Then Matt Wagner, Michael Mata. But at this point, again, I really don't think there's going to be much difference on the tires or anything like that. So I think right now it's going to be just minimizing mistakes, trying to make the right move at the right time. Eric Schaus was our leader at the time of the caution, so he is now our control car. And last time we were watching, it was a late restart there for our leader, so we're going to actually jump on the rear wing here, watch this Hot Wheels machine, and see what Eric's strategy is here on this restart. Does he keep him bunched up or does he go early? Looks like he is waiting, and he is letting it go late. Now he's down and away. You saw everybody start to kind of change lanes to be ready, just in case. Got one at the bottom, letting the field on by. But looks like no missing wings or anything, so I'm going to say that is job well done for these drivers. But now this pop of this first lap or so is usually where the leader is the most susceptible. And you can see already Eric trying to weave around, trying to break that draft early here. Because again, you build that big lead, but then that gives that second place car a huge tow, and Eric going straight to the yellow line, like Quabi said, playing defense right away.
Yeah, it's going to be competitive now. It's going to be everybody fighting. And then that crossover move, the same thing Bruno doing. It seems like that's the ideal passing line, because you push up a little bit off the turn, and then that opens up the inside if you come from the outside in.
Rick Sanchez had a moment. It looks like I saw him do some off-roading, I think, on the front stretch, but unfortunately, I think he wound up wrecking out of 2 because I think he got trapped down on the apron. We are 3 wide here for a second. Now we stay. Oh, nope, we're going to go back to 3 wide. They're thinking about 4 wide even. Eric's trying to figure out where he wants to position his car, but Bruno's going to get back to the point here, and so he's got Alan now trying to figure out where he needs to position his car. And like I said, now it's just everybody's got to try to figure out where's the place to be, what move do you make. But yeah, you're exactly right though, Papa. It seems like if you hug that yellow line, you're going to drift up as... Oh my goodness, Eric was inches, it looked like, from Alan Moreira there out of 2.
There are cars all over the track here. Everyone's trying to find clean air and find the momentum. And it's there to find, it looks like.
Bruno's hugging it. He's not giving anybody that inside line, so watch out. It's going to be tough to pass him. Right?
You can see he does, he drifts up about maybe from the yellow line to about that first seam. And so it's going to have to be timed to perfection to try to do that crossover, if you will. But yeah, Bruno's going to make this very difficult. And again, there's a reason why Bruno's our defending champion. He's a very, very smart racer. He puts himself in position to win these races, and he's going to have to hold off some of the best of Area 51 to do so. Like I said, we've seen Alan. He's been really, really strong on the long runs. I mean, we don't have to say much about Nick DeGroot. He finds a way somehow a lot of the times. Oh, right there, I just saw Yari Brupacher just chop across the nose of Charles Teed, trying to get to the bottom. And like I said, it's not just the top three. We got 5th, 6th, 7th. They're all going after it here as we're already down to 15 to go.
A lot of movement. There's cars 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. They're like all over the place. This is scary.
Yeah, I'm nervous about this. We may have another yellow, but man, the racing is really good right now.
I say we're going to pop off the back here of Bruno Moreno's car. So you saw Alan jump to his outside here, trying to find that clean air. Alan, again, the longer distance around, so he won't be able to get around him there. But what happens now is there. Oh man, look at Eric makes that big jump to the top there. You could see him just pop out of the frame, and then you saw Nick DeGroot right there as well. But the problem is for Eric here is now with these two running side by side, either lane on the bottom, it's going to give you a lot of dirty air through the turn. So Eric is kind of forced now to have to run this 3 wide. He's got to someone's got to try to find a way to do that undercut there to get underneath one of the two of them. And then I think that's where the move's going to have to be made. But right now, though, with where Alan and Bruno are running, there's not a lot of options. And man, I think Eric is getting very tight getting that aero wash.
Someone needs to be right behind Bruno, right on his gearbox and everything. But it looks like if you get that close, as you go in the corner, you push up. So he's in a really good position.
Oh, got spin it back. Oh, another car involved there. And it is, 3 cars now involved. And it looks like we've got the 31, the 32, Gary Laverne, and the 13 as well. Christopher, his bad luck continues, unfortunately, here at the second portion of the season. And so, unfortunately, Bill Colley as well involved. So let's go back. We'll take a look here. Try to see if I can find where it all occurred. I think it was roughly, it may have been around initially with Christopher. So I'm going to start with him initially. He's got Edson Santos to his outside. Let's see if there's contact between the two. And yes, most definitely, unfortunate contact between oh my, I don't know how Edson saves this car. They're great hands by the 20. Jim Herrick, he has to make evasive action. He gets through it. Bill Collier, though, I think when he got on the brakes, he kind of pulled his car to the left. He makes contact, and then that comes right into the path of Gary Laverno's down on the apron, trying to see if he could beat them to it. Unfortunately, was not able to make it in time, and so those 3 cars are involved. And we do have some strategy here. So caution is out, and a few drivers that I didn't expect to see hit pit road are on pit road as we speak. And that the main one for me is Eric Schaus. Going to hit pit road here. So I think he wants to try the tires, thinking that I got to do something different here. So he's going to hop in here for some tires. And then also, I believe, because again, we saw the contact though between the 20 and the 13. That means, unfortunately, that Edson Santos not eligible for the wave around pass there on that one, which then gives it to the 40 of Jim Herrick. Remember, it was 3 laps down, just 2 cautions ago. Took the wave around, got the caution he needed there. Now he gets 1 more here to get back to 1 lap down. So it had to be really quick caution for Jim to have a chance to get back on the lead lap and go after the win. But actually, I'm sorry. Jim's going to go from 2 down to 1 down to match Edson Santos. Apologies there. So they'll actually be battling for the lucky dog position on this go around. Edson would have gone from 2 down to the lead, or 1 down to the lead lap had he not been involved, unfortunately. But yeah, if there's a caution and you're involved through iRacing, it just basically goes to the next driver in line. And in this case was Jim Herrick. So.
By Eric Schaus pity, there's going to be so few laps left. He's going to have to work up through quite a few cars to get back to where he was at.
Yeah, this is definitely a gamble. But I think he decided, you know what? I'd rather be... Eric's one of those guys, I feel like he wants to be an attacker, so he wants to have any sort of advantage he can over the other guys. And, I mean, there is going to be an advantage, though. I mean, he's going to have not quite 20-lap fresher tires, but somewhere in that range. So, I mean, and we saw that some drivers were starting to struggle holding the bottom, so I think it's a good gamble to try. It looks like Yari Brewpacker, Adriano Ferporti, and Matt Wagner also pitted under this yellow. So pretty much the top 6 pitted at lap 88. Michael Mata pitted at 96. Again, he was the wave around at that lap 88 caution. Or sorry, the one to go wave around. I apologize. That's correct. So he stayed out though. So now he jumps up to 7th. And then from William Swenson up to the leaders here, they all pitted at 88. So again, lights are not off of the pace car yet. So we still got at least one more round. So the soonest we will restart this race is with 7 laps to go. So yeah, like you said, not a lot of time for Eric here to try to get up there. And then the other issue, of course, is there are no green-white checkers here with the Area 51 Dark Horse series. So if there's a late yellow with probably, I think, 3 to go, that's probably it for the race. So that also throws in that strategy of when and where do you make your move, because you can't wait until the last lap because you really don't know when the last lap's going to be.
Yeah, I agree with Papa. Eric has given himself a lot of work to do, but also we saw Eric, lap after lap trying to find a way around Bruno, and Bruno's perfectly positioned. So if he's going for everything, this is his only decision he can make, right? If he wants to maximize his position, I think he should have stayed out. But if he wants that win, he made the decision, right?
A good strategy for trying to get by Bruno is to get right on his side pod and stay right there next to him. Because what happens is if he's pushing up, then even a little bit, he's going to have to feather it, and that'll give you the run off the corner, and that'll give you the chance to go ahead and get in front of him, because you're not going to take him on the high side just by passing on the high side, and it looks like it's going to be hard to get him on the low side. So just force him to run the yellow line, and then when he lifts, then you go by.
So you would have stayed out and then try to kind of pin him on towards the apron, make your move that way.
Exactly.
If he could even get there, though. I think Eric came in from 3rd or 4th spot on the track. So right now, Alan's got the best option for that. But it's definitely a risk versus reward on that one, because you have to trust Bruno, but you also have to trust the net code, which is always a danger in these tracks. So we'll see, though. We're going to restart this thing with 7 laps to go. And again, a late start here. Everybody's starting to bunch up. And now he's down and away. And man, it is definitely a stack up. Look at Eric Schaus, though. I think he was ready to go. He's already going to get a couple right off the kick here, as he's already gotten around, I believe, 3 cars, so I'm not mistaken, on that restart. So he's wasting no time. And like I said, he's going to get every spot he can. So if he can get around Charles Teed here, I'm going to call this up. He's almost back to a wash from where he pitted. So we'll watch that 72 car, because he's done a great job.
Look at what he did.
That's impressive. He seemed to be ready for the stack up, and now he's advantaged Eric.
No, he heard us talking. He said, BS, I'm going to show you guys.
And oh man, look how defensive Bruno's having to be here. He's just running absolutely at the very entry at the bottom. And so, but Bruno's done the best of anybody at keeping that car hugged to the bottom line. But yeah, there goes the 89. He goes to the very top. But again, creeping in the picture is Eric Schaus. So we'll hop onto his roll bar here. We'll watch what he does. He's going to kind of do a big apex here, cut from the top to the bottom. Still some dirty air, a little bit of almost looked like got loose there out of 2. But he's going to have to try to find somewhere to go. And again, I think he's going to have to try, like I said, there he goes. He's going to hold all the way to the bottom. I think he'll clear De Groot. And yeah, so there he goes. Now he's up to 3rd. He's got a chance. And like I said, he's got the freshest tires. Now he's just got to find the clean air and find the right move at the right time to try to jump, like I said, either underneath or at least try to find a way around Allen.
Again, cars in every lane. This is great racing.
So this time around, will be 3 laps to go. Eric Schaus squeezing Alan Moreira there. Now Nick De Groot holding the bottom.
Yeah, Eric just can't get where he needs to go.
No, and Nick's trying that low line, and now I guess he decided that he left it.
This is Eric Schaus's best chance right here. He's able to get underneath Alan Moreira. He's going to clear. He's going to be 2nd. Now he can peek to the outside. 2 to go here of our race leader, Bruno Miranda. And now, like I said, now he's going to have to try to hold that the 1 car, I apologize. Honest, like I said, see how tight he can hold him, see if he can build the momentum. And right now, Eric does have a nose ahead entering 3.
This is perfect. Eric's doing exactly what we're talking about. But man, he just can't get the momentum.
We will get the white flag. 1 to go, 3 wide here at the lead. I believe the line Eric had it that time around, but they got to do it one more time. Look at the 4th line there. Nick Drew trying to make something happen right now. Bruno's got a nose ahead again, but Eric's got the momentum here down the back. It's going to be a close finish here, possibly.
Eric's trying to make her. Oh, I thought I saw debris.
Oh, it's going to be.
Wow, it's getting close.
Oh, it's going to be Bruno Moreno by. It's going to be in the hundreds, if not thousands of seconds. Bruno Moreno going to get the win. Had it been a lap earlier, I think Eric Schaus gets the win. But Bruno Moreno going to get the win here tonight at Kentucky over Eric Schaus. Nick DeGroot going to bring it home in 3rd. And Alan Moreira, Eric Peterson going to round out our top 5 there. But that was tight there.
That was quite a finish.
And we're gonna go back. We'll take one more look here, coming to the white, because like I said, I think at the white flag, Eric Schaus has a nose ahead, but like I said, he had to try to hold it one more time, and just unfortunately he wasn't able to. But let's see, as we're coming to the white, yep, Schaus by a nose cone maybe, but then we'll watch as we kind of build back up to speed there. You see the 21 there. He runs the outside line. He's going to try to cut it down and get that momentum off. But right here, Bruno gets a great exit out of 2. You can see again, Eric's pulling, but doesn't have a nose ahead like he did before. And so what he does here is he tries to cut down, sniff just a little draft to get that momentum build. I saw the wing you're talking about there, Quabi, for a split second. And then at the line, like I said, again, almost a nose cone, but in the other way there. But a great job, Eric Schaus and Bruno Moreno just holding each other honest but racing extremely clean. So hats off to those guys.
Yeah, Nick almost took advantage of being able to go below the yellow line on the last lap. He was closing quick.
Yeah, like I said, Nick knows how to pull some little sneakies ones at the end there. So what we will do in just a moment is we will pull up our top 3 finishers. Before we get to them, let's go ahead and pull up our final results. That way, let's find the interval here at the end. And it is Bruno Moreno by 5 thousandths of a second over Eric Schaus there. Nick DeGroot brings it home in 3rd. Alan Moreira 4th. Eric Peterson there 5th. And then Adriana Fraporti, runner-up last week, 6th tonight. Charles Teed, Yari Brubacher, Matt Wagner, and Michael Mata rounding out our top 10. William Swenson winds up our final driver on the lead lap in the number 69. And then you got Edson Santos again. I mean, definitely a 12th is not where he was all night, so he's going to be definitely disappointed with that. Being as close as he was there, and then having that happen at the end, but still able to bring home 12th. Jim Herrick again from 3 down to 1 down from some great strategy and gambles there to 13th. Then you got Bill Colley, Michael Carrillo, Chris Stouffer, Gary Laverne, and Richard Sanchez in 18th. I'll say these guys not the Knights that are hoping for early retirements as well, with Dan Moreira, Brad Adams, and Taylor Reeves. All right, now let's go find some fellas to chat with. And our first one's pretty regular interviewee. So we'll start with Mr. Nick DeGroot, because we saw him pulling some. He tried to do some snooker in there at the very end there, seeing how low he could go. But unfortunately, there's a couple cars, I think, in your way there at the end, Nick. But I mean, that was some amazing racing by I mean, pretty much the whole top 5. I mean, you guys were just, everybody was slicing, dicing, changing lanes. I got momentum. All right, I'm going to try to jump this lane. I think we all were expecting at some point someone was going to make the same move that somebody else was going to make, and it was going to end in tears. But I mean, just how are the nerves? How are the hands? Are they able to kind of hold stable? Or I mean, how you doing?
They're not shaking, but they definitely hurt from gripping the steering wheel so hard. That was white knuckle racing if I've ever seen it. And at the end there, man, when I saw Schaus come up on those fresh tires, at least I think he had fresh tires, I was like, man, I should have pitted. I should have pitted during that caution, because I could not figure out a way to get around Bruno. And I think tires would have been the way. If we had another lap there, heck, a couple more feet, Eric Schaus wins that race. So, yeah, tires was the name of the game. I was doing a terrible job getting around those guys, especially I forget how many laps to go. It might have been like 30 laps to go. I think Schaus, it was like me, Schaus, and Alan, and we all just kind of fumbled over ourselves, and Bruno just passed all three of us. And once he had that lead, there was no looking back. And once you give Bruno the lead, it's pretty much game over. It's hard to get around him. And I really wanted to beat him tonight. I know we're in that battle for the championship, so every point counts, but still a good race. Glad we were able to get a podium out of it, and looking forward to the next one.
Nope. All right, so yeah, we were talking about that move that where Bruno was able to get by kind of a couple of you in one shot there. But then the thing I felt like I noticed was it seemed to me like I feel like Bruno was able to hold the bottom a little bit more comfortably than some of the others, where they would interload, but then they'd wash up maybe a lane and a half, and then you kind of get that crossover. But it seemed like he was able to hold it a little bit more. I mean, when you had a potential to do that as well, like how much adjusting were you having to do between clean air and dirty there at the end?
Oh yeah, well, I certainly think he was the best of the bottom feeders there. The couple cautions to kind of just cool down the tires probably helped as well, but he was doing an incredible job late in the run, holding on to the bottom there. He just started to slip right at the very end, but it was too little, too late. And as for myself, man, I had to get it all the way to plus 20 on the weight jacker at the end just to turn that car. It was so difficult to make up any ground in dirty air and on old tires. And Bruno was the best one tonight. He was the best one out there, and he won the race.
Well, the plus 20 weight jacker makes me a little bit nervous, but I if anybody's going to be able to hang
no
on to
choice.
that, so it'd be you. So hell of a job though tonight, Nick. But before we let you go, definitely want to give you the floor though for any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight.
Yeah, thanks Factory Back Motorsports as always, Coveyboard.com, Canvas Shoes, Motorsport.com, everybody else who supports us. Got a couple wins this year. Hopefully we can get a few more here in the last half of the season and maybe a championship, but here's hoping.
So you guys, like I said, we're halfway down, halfway still to go, and some really, really fun tracks coming up. So good luck the rest of the way, and great job tonight, man.
Yep, thanks guys.
All right, so we're going to jump from our third place finisher, Nick DeGroot, over to our runner-up, and that is going to be Mr. Eric Schaus. So we'll pull Eric on in over here. And Eric, you had some doubters in the name of probably all of us, but then, man, that restart, you were ready. I think you felt like, it looked like, you were ready for that potential checkup, and I think you pretty much, it seemed like you had an idea of what was going to happen on that restart, and didn't get antsy, and then you're able to just jump on it and then get, like, I think 3 or 4 guys pretty much out of turn 2 and throw your hat in the mix there with plenty of time to try to work those tires in. I mean, that was really, really, I love the gamble. I think my dad and my brother love the gamble too, but then, oh man, that was a hell of a drive there. And like I said, if it was one lap shorter, you had the nose cone ahead, and then the last time around, Bruno had the nose cone ahead, but definitely really, really great fight. I mean, just take us through the dash there at the end.
Yeah, I wish I could have that last lap back 1,000 times over, because I should have had him, and I was a little afraid to pinch him too low, and the two of us get into each other, and he got me. Fair game to him. I wish I could do it again, but 5,000ths of a second, I can't complain too much about that. It was a solid second. I feel like I had a fast car all night. That restart, that was about as razor thin as I could get without it being considered a jump. I had to go back and watch it a couple times just to make sure I didn't actually jump the start, but I did wait till the green flag dropped before I hit the throttle, and it just worked out perfect. I mean, the gamble, I figured these guys are going to be dicing it up front. Good chance of a wreck. Do I really want to be involved in that? Tires are already kind of questionable for everybody. Why not? Let's take the gamble on tires, and paid off.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great gamble. I feel like that's kind of you to a T. Is you want to be the one on the aggressive, not the one playing defense. I feel like that's kind of been your racing in general, and we'll see that with the very strategy. I mean, you had the best fuel mileage on that fuel run where you're able to go further than anybody, and then kind of and still hold the main draft as well, which is critical, of course, there as well. So, you did a really good job from start to finish there. Like I said, I mean, it was right there. So, great run. And we were talking about and that was something my dad was mentioning was you got to basically pinch the inside lane, but it's a risk versus reward, because you I mean, you trust the guys around you, especially like a Bruno and Nick and all these guys that you're used to racing week in and week out. But unfortunately, in iRacing, there's internet connections, and so you never know if it's going to have that little bobble that isn't Bruno, but it's just the net code. And so it's a risk versus reward. And I like I said, you want to be a little bit more of a gambler, but again, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over that one tonight. That was a hell of a run.
Yeah, like you said, it's the net code, and I don't know if you guys have been doing much racing this week. It seems like the net code's been really bad this week, and I don't know. Should have sent it, but is what it is.
If that wasn't you sending it, I'm afraid to see what is in the future. But just hell of a job though tonight, Eric. Congrats again, that runner up. But before we let you go, definitely got to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that result tonight.
Yeah, shout out to the guys around me. Great job, Bruno. Everybody else out there, it was pretty good racing tonight. This is an awesome track to run and a lot of fun. Shout out to you guys in the booth. Always appreciate it. I'm going to go back and watch this because it'll be a good one. Shout out to my wife and child. I guess I got to add her in there now. And shout out to any fans out there.
All right, well, great job, man. Yeah, go hang out with Dr. Schausen, baby. And I'll say we'll look forward to seeing you again here soon, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that leaves us one last driver to chat with. That is last week's winner, defending champion, and that is going to be Bruno Miranda getting the win here tonight at Kentucky. Bruno, first congrats, but then you were able to hold the bottom line, I feel like, better than anybody. Once you got to the lead, we saw the drivers, they would stay by the yellow line, but then they would drift up on exit, and then someone would get underneath and pass them. But you held the bottom, I think, better than anybody. Was it just, did you find some settings that were good, or I mean, do you say, if you're willing to share any secrets for how you're able to do that?
Hello, Gael. Hello, Jean. Gregorio has helped me in English, so he traduced for English, and I explain this in Spanish. Okay.
That's perfect.
Hi, Gael. Hi, Jim. I translate the text of Bruno.
So, la carrera fue un poco difícil y el último stint, usar a línea interna fue un poco difícil, pues demandaba mucha eject.
Bruno said the interior line, the inline, is difficult to maintain in this position, but the tires is very hit, and it's difficult to maintain this line every race. He managed the tires in the last lap, and he get a minimum of lucky. The guys behind him attack, and Bruno going to the lead.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Like I said, they were all fighting, and yeah, then you were able, I think you passed three of them in like 2 turns to get to the front, and then from there held on to the end. So like I said, just a great job tonight. The other question I have was, last week you pitted the latest. This week you had to pit the earliest with the green flag pit stops. Were you worried about a caution in between, like, so when you pitted to when everybody else pitted, were you afraid of a caution kind of in between those?
Hoje estava na estratégia errada, então decidi contar um pouco com a sorte, e a penúltima amarilla acabou me ajudando e conseguindo ficar no mesmo pace de paradas nas últimas voltas.
Bruno said he going into the bad strategy. The good strategy is pitting in the same way with the past week, but the bad strategy today, he forced to get this strategy. The last caution for him is a most lucky of the day. For your car, don't advance and don't speed. And this caution get a lot of lucky for Bruno, and going to the car is repaired or the tire is managed better, and he can get a P1.
Yeah, it was a really great job tonight. So congrats on the win. I say, and we saw tonight we had 4 of the top 5 drivers, all from Brazil. So you guys are kind of taking over here with Area 51. So I made the comment of obviously a lot of great Brazilian racers. Is there a specific driver that is your favorite driver? I mean, obviously you've got like current drivers like Tony Kanaan, and was there anybody that maybe got you interested in racing?
Meu piloto favorito em Brasil é Gil de Ferran, Gil de Ferran, for Americans. Eu estou a usar o helmet de Gil de Ferran porque é o meu capacete, meu layout de pintura é do Gil, e infelizmente pelo falecimento dele no último ano, estou a usar para fazer uma homenagem a Gil, e foi um dos meus pilotos favoritos e minha inspiração para competir e usar tanto a velocidade como ser um pouco cerebral durante as carreiras.
Bruno say the better driver for him is Gilles Ferran, whole driver on the IndyCar and perfect person. He is a recordatory or homage for him, for pass away for him, and Bruno is very happy for win the race for Gilles Ferran today.
Yeah, no, and you're right. It's like there are so many great drivers from Brazil, and yeah, it's like I said, Gil de Ferran, obviously one of the big ones, especially on the IndyCar side. So, congrats again, Bruno. Gregorio, thank you so much also for hopping on. Say really appreciate the both of you. But before we let you go, as always, need to let you any thanks and shout outs for the win tonight. Like I said, if you want to translate, you can. You don't have to. It's like you had some viewers on YouTube. They were cheering you on tonight, and so you've got some very happy fans tonight.
Thank you, Gael. Thank you, Gene. Thank you for broadcast. Thank you guys for see the broadcast, and thank you for my team, Roa Export. Thank you, Gregorio, to support me in all race. So thank you very much, all the guys. Congrats, Nick and Eric for the podium. Congrats, Alan Moreira for the fourth place. He's staying in P2 all the time in the final of the race. So thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. See you the next race. Sorry for my bad English, but it's my good effort for him.
No, you guys did amazing. So I love it, and I like that we're able to, like I said, kind of reach more audience. And no, you guys are both doing great with your English. So don't no apologies needed. But yeah, congrats again, and look forward to talking to you all again soon.
See you soon.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, that is our race winner as we watch him do celebratory donuts on the front stretch here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. Man, I'll say Bruno's he's starting to heat up a little bit here. Say he won last week. He's now got 3 wins to the season. We mentioned on the point side of things, he's up to 21-point lead. He was actually down by 1 point, and up 21 after Phoenix, and it's only going to grow a little bit more. So he's starting to kind of build that momentum, get his legs underneath him, and the rest of the field's going to have to be careful here because, like I said, we're halfway through. So I think it's going to have to be some of these guys are probably going to have to be pretty much picture perfect the rest of the way, and maybe even have to hope for a little bit of bad luck from Bruno to have a chance at this one.
Yeah, he's a special case there. He can win them with the best of them. And yeah, I got to apologize to Eric for doubting him and his strategy. He just about did it. It was Bruno could do to hold him off, and it was a very exciting race. It was one of the better races in a long time.
Yeah, really, really great finish there at the end. And like I said, and it was exactly like you said too. Basically, I mean, he had the tire advantage, so he was able to get there using that. But then it was spot on with what you said. He gets his outside, but then it's the risk versus reward. How much do I want to pinch him and risk either one or both of us wrecking, or give a little bit of room? And again, that little bit of room turned into a 5,000th of a second of a difference, but between he and Bruno there at the end. So it's a gamble. It's a risk versus reward. And again, though, I think, like, obviously, I mean, long term, of course, it's good because he's still able to get second. But I mean, they're all competitors. They want to win. And but yeah, great job by all those guys. And yeah, really good race. Almost 2 full green flag pit stop cycles through there. At a very, very difficult track to get on and off of pit road. So definitely great job to all of the drivers here tonight. And so definitely hats off to all of them. And also got to thank you guys. I say it's always fun to do these broadcasts. I say it's even more fun when I get all 3 of you guys, or all 2, well, both of you guys to get all 3 of us here tonight. Like I said, we'll have a few more weeks until we get Mr. Andrew Wood back. I think he'll be back at the Las Vegas race on March 26th. Next 2 weeks, though, we have Nashville Super Speedway and then the Auto Club Oval. I'm kind of skeptical, Papa, that I'll be able to pull you away from the track on that one. I feel like that's one that you definitely enjoy racing on. So we'll see how that one goes. However, coming up this week, though, we will be back on Thursday night. Boomer Logan calling the shots with the Area 51 Xfinity Super Speedway Series. And they will be at, I believe it will be back to Daytona, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to pull up the calendar real quick. Yes, back to Daytona for the second time this season. Just 3 more races there until the playoffs kick off with that group. So for all of us here tonight, thank you so much for watching, for supporting us here at Green White Checker TV. Really want to thank everybody, obviously, as well, our supporters with 40 Racer, everybody watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Like I said, love seeing you cheer on your favorite drivers. It always is fun to have for us as well. So it gives us some things to talk about, get a little extra focus on your favorite driver and stuff. So yeah, Papa Quabi, thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'll say we don't get to do a ton of stuff on the racing side anymore, so I'll say I'll take the booth side as well. It's a lot of fun doing these with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so until next time, I hope you all stay safe, have a wonderful evening, and then we'll see you all on Thursday. Until then, take care and have a good night.